All right, young man, listen up. It's another man lesson. September 13th and 20. We're going to be talking about something we don't see very much of. And it's going to be courage. Courage to me, I had that beat into me my whole life. When I joined the Navy, it was honor, courage, and commitment. It's the same with the Marine Corps. Honor, courage, and commitment. Courage came second, honor was first. All right. Let's dig through this one a little bit. I'm a little frustrated with Vanna because she was dictating about a month ago. It's been a little while since the last video. And I didn't make it for her. And she got pissed and ditched the notes. So I had to go back through and remake them. Hopefully it's as good as the last. Courage is a big deal, boys. It's a big fucking deal. Why is it a big deal? Well, all societies throughout history have honored courageous men. Courageous men are valued. People value courage. Apply a little economic principle to it. All right? It's not that complicated. If courage is valued, it's rare. Gold and silver, precious jewels, all that shit's rare. And it's valued. It's valued because it's rare. If it was fucking common, if people valued common shit, the grains of sand on the beach would be valued. They're not. If you got an abundant supply, the price goes down. Okay? Simple, and it's obvious. What's the opposite? What's the opposite of courage? Bueller. Cowardice. Cowardice is the opposite of courage. All right? Now, is cowardice valued? No. The answer is no, obviously. Why? Because it's common. It's common. It's everywhere. Cowardice is everywhere and courage is rare. Odds are you're not courageous. Or odds are you haven't been tested. Young men, you probably haven't been tested. If you have, back in the day, you at least be tested by bullies in school. Now, everything's such a nanny state. They dope you up and send you to school and everybody's on fucking Ritalin just sitting there drooling. Fuck. Alright? Pay attention. This is fucking important. There will be times in your life where courage is needed. This is so true. Don't fail these tests. If you choose the easy path on this, you will hide from these failures throughout the entirety of your life. It'll be hard to look in the mirror unless you just bury it back there and say, yeah, that didn't happen. And God forbid anybody asks you about it, you're going to have to lie. You're going to have to lie. And lying is not a virtuous principle. Okay? Courage doesn't necessarily apply to life-threatening things. It can just be peer pressure. It could just be standing up for yourself or somebody else. So here we go. This is what Vanna's saying. Because there she is. Courage applies to more than violence and near-death events. That's true. I've been through both. It's true. It can be as simple as standing in front of a crowd who labeled your brother in a negative light and publicly professing your friendship for him. It can be that simple. I've known men that have failed that and have lost friendships that were decades old. Cowardice is common, people. It's common. How do you pursue courage? Oh, fuck. That'd be another video. Be way longer than this one. I tell you what, though. Everybody knows a coward when they see one. They know their behavior. They just know. Boom. That's what it is. I mean, think about it. Cowardice is so goddamn common. And it's been that way since the beginning of fucking time. So good. That since for thousands of years, they've made monuments to courageous men. That's how rare it is. This is how rare it is. And every single one of you can be courageous. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a monument. But you'll be respected in your community, in your peers. And that's a big deal. That's huge. Being respected by your peers. They're not going to respect you if you're a fucking coward. So, economic principles. Again, cowards are common, which means worthless. Courageous men are rare, which are valued. It's big. So, you need to find some good principles, such virtues, to live your life by. This means you're going to have to study some of the great philosophers. Now, hey, these guys were so courageous. We'll take Socrates, for example. He was killed for his virtues and for his principles. But took some goddamn balls to do it, and that's why we talk about him today. Christ is the same way. William Wallace. Well, go watch Braveheart if you want to say, how do I be courageous? Look at some of those examples. It's okay. You'll be better for it. Hopefully, we do live in the modern Western world, and you don't have to worry about being ambushed all the damn time. It's pretty nice. But you still got to be ready. But courage goes outside of dealing with a violent act. It goes down to your principles and your soul and standing up. Standing up. And saying, no, that's wrong. Or no, yes, he is my friend and my brother. I don't give a fuck what you say about it. It's starting to make a little bit of sense. So I talked about studying. In past videos, I've talked about reading, which is very important. Here's a stack of books I've read recently. The first one, Louis L'Amour, The Strong Shall Live. Bunch of short stories, chock full of courageous men. Tons of examples. It's excellent. Pathways by Quintus Curtius. This is his best short essays in 2015. It's really good. Let's go to the first thing I underlined in this book. What is it? No man of any consequence wants or seeks an easy life. Huh? Would a coward make that choice? I think not. Good book. Get it. Read it. Learn. On duties. I just got through this book about Cicero. Amazing. Lots of courageous man, not on the battlefield, but when it came to his life, without question courageous, and died with his fucking boots on. Travels. I'm halfway through this book. Michael Crichton's little autobiography, published in '88. How he traveled the world and did a bunch of very courageous in his self-analysis of himself, being honest and finding his own faults and working through it. Excellent book. Biography of Cicero. We've already discussed him. You should study him. It's good. Without him, you probably wouldn't have the version of the Western world that you have now. Prisoners of the Japanese. I'll put it this way. For the guys that survived the 3 years as prisoners of the Japanese in World War II, it took courage just to decide to stay alive. Because at a minimum, they knew every day of their existence, while prisoners of the Japanese, they'd be starving to death. Best case scenario, they'd be starving to death. Aside from the random killings and torturing and just beatings for shits and giggles. Great book, by the way. Worth reading more than once. Every book I'm showing you is worth reading more than once. Empire of the Summer Moon. It's about the Cherokee fighting. Not Cherokee. I'm wrong. Comanche. The Comanche Wars. It's amazing. Courage on both sides, on the Comanche side and the U.S. side. And it dispels a lot of the tree-hugging myths. It is a brutally honest book. Louis L'Amour's Education of a Wandering Man. It starts out with a courageous act by a young teenager, and it carries on. Courage is a big deal, people. Young men out there, you want to pursue courageous. You don't want to pursue courageous acts, because if you're pursuing a courageous act, something sucks. And that's true. But times in life, there will be times in your life where it's either step up to the plate or be a bitch. You don't want to take the bitch route. You don't want to roll over on your back and show your belly. You want to drive forward. If that means you take a hit, you take a hit. That's better. That's better than being defeated. It's better than not being able to look at yourself in the mirror. The only reason that could possibly be acceptable would mean you're not doing it in the first place. Maybe if you're going to take a beating to protect somebody else, then that's what you do. Especially if it's your wife and kids or something like that. But if it's just on you, face the fucking fire. Do what needs to be done to make the world a better place. All right, I love you. Go and learn, men.